Why are we so fascinated by celebrities? At the most basic level, we are drawn to people who are widely known for some visible, popular form of success. In our minds, they represent the pinnacle of what a human life can look like. We mistake fandom for genuine love. We mistake their lives as having more meaning than our own. And I suppose the biggest mistake of all, we assume that people living in luxury and fame are somehow spared from unhappiness and suffering. Think about it. To be known by so many and yet truly known by almost nobody, that's a very disorienting place to live. So we follow celebrities on social media, we watch their posts, their reels, their interviews, and yet we know nothing real about them. Their personalities, their private natures, their actual inclinations. We don't know them, but we respect and admire them regardless. Now, what we are actually responding to is the finished surface of their journeys. The glitter of luxury, the appearance of unbroken happiness held up to the camera. That's what grabs our attention, and that's what romanticizes their status in our minds. And when they fall prey to some personal crisis, a divorce, an affair, or a public scandal, we are pulled even deeper into the web. The question arises, how can someone who occupies the unspoken status of a god in our subconscious suddenly be subject to controversy, to the sudden unprovoked ups and downs that define ordinary human lives? Now, rather than pause and reflect, we race toward the cheap thrill of reading about whatever's gone wrong with their lives. Now, you might ask, so what? Like, what's the big deal with putting celebrities on a pedestal? It's because underneath all this, we worship success and infallibility, perfection, because we actively dislike failure. It might sound like a stupid question, but just sit with it. Why isn't a random person on the street celebrated in our culture? Why don't we ever zoom in on someone who has failed every metric of success? Because status in our world is entirely defined by outcomes and not by the journey that produced them. Now, this sets a very dangerous example. What if you're born into wealth and fame? You could carry every appearance of success without ever having taken a single step towards it. You could be admired, like genuinely admired, for no reason other than the vague but potent glamour that your life possesses. So, when outcome is allowed to overshadow the adventure, the anxieties and hardships of the journey, we naturally develop a mindless attraction to the totems of success, i.e., celebrities, the symbols, the aesthetics, and their lifestyle. This mindset doesn't just shape how we see celebrities, it's now reshaping what people create online. There's been a visible rise in what I'd call shortcut taking culture. OnlyFans, increasingly suggestive content on Instagram, YouTube videos, engineered purely for shock value. See, many creators have realized something uncomfortable. All you have to do is show skin or be provocative to start earning money and attention. What we're seeing now is the same celebrity culture but built into the algorithm. The algorithm runs on one simple equation: attention equals money. More attention means better ad distribution and reach. Now, this means content creation need not have anything to do with value creation. You can race to the bottom in terms of quality, but still come out on top in terms of money and success. This extreme emphasis on outcome has eclipsed the journey entirely. The character forming, personality shaping struggle. Instead, we are now left with a culture that actively rules out spiritual and emotional development. And look, celebrity culture is not going to go away. But the question worth sitting with is this: what are we actually celebrating? What does it cost us to celebrate it? When we confuse the image of a successful life with the reality of a successful life, we don't just admire celebrity. In our own lives, we might just go down a shallow and ultimately unfulfilling path.